Department of Human Services Director Ryan Yamane will share important information about the Sunbucks Summer EBT program. Facilitated questions and answers with the media will follow promptly after remarks conclude. And without further ado, it is my privilege to welcome both First Lady Green and Governor Green to the lectern.
Aloha. Thank you all for being here today. While many of our families are enjoying the summer, for too many of them, it's also a time of stress and uncertainty. We know that many of our children depend on school meals during the school year. So during breaks in summer, many parents are left wondering how they'll stretch their grocery budgets. That's why the Sunbucks program is so important. Started last year in partnership with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and we are proud to continue this summer. It is an initiative rooted in the belief that we all share, that no child in Hawaii should ever go hungry.
I'll continue a few points, and then we're going to bring up Director Yamane. So, as Jamie expressed, in Hawaii we care for one another. That's what this is about. We malama our keiki, our kupuna, and our ohana. The Sunbucks program is one of the most compassionate and thoughtful programs from my perspective that exists. So I'm thankful to the department, to Ryan and team. Thank you guys, Scott, everyone. It's reflective of our spirit of aloha for people. It gives families the ability to feed their children with dignity, and it supports our local economy at the same time. We're going to break into that a little bit. These benefits are more than just about food. They offer peace of mind, dignity, support during a season when a lot of families need it the most, when the kids are out of school. So this summer, eligible families can receive $177 per child to help put nutritious meals on the table. And that can be a game changer for people who are living paycheck to paycheck. If you're unsure of whether you qualify, you should check right now. Ryan's going to break down the numbers for you a little bit, but the application deadline is coming up. It's August 3rd. You can apply today if you do one of two things. Go to sunbucks.dhs.hawaii.gov. Again, that's sunbucks.dhs.hawaii.gov, or call 1-888-975-7328. That's Ryan's cell phone, so you can get it. That's actually the program, of course. So 1-888-975-7328. And get these resources for your families. We want to continue to lift people up and ensure every keiki in Hawaii has the nourishment they need to survive and thrive during the summer, so that when they get back to school, they're still doing okay. Today is about something simple, but it's incredibly important. We have to have food for our keiki. The Sunbucks is the example of what happens when we prioritize families and children, but we have to be compassionate and have full commitment. That's why the team is working so hard. This will lower the burden for families who are working hard to make ends meet, but also this investment, and you're going to hear the number, it's $14 million, is going in and out of our grocery stores and our neighborhood markets, and through programs like DeBucks, which supports the local farmers. So people can, have locally sourced food, which is the healthiest food, and it goes into families' lives. Every dollar is going to make a difference. It's in someone's pantry. It's in our economy. That's why we're doing this. But this is what investing in our keiki looks like, and how we build a healthier, more resilient Hawaii for generations to come. Again, it's been very tough on people. We're very concerned about cuts to the safety net system. We are working day in and day out, and we're going to have a lot of information for you going forward on SNAP in general, on Medicaid in general, on extra resources which we can try to pull in from the legislation that's passed at the federal level. But today's priority is feeding our keiki, and that's why I'm honored to call up DHS Director Ryan Yamane.
Don't worry. Right. Aloha. Mahalo, Governor Green and First Lady Green, for your heartfelt leadership. Kind of wanted to ensure everybody, they are really committed to ohanas and keikis throughout the state, for your unwavering commitment to ensuring Hawaii's children are fed, supported, and cared for. So thank you. At the Department of Human Services, we are firsthand in committing to supporting our parents and caregivers who are doing everything they can to provide for their children. Sunbucks is one way we can meet families where they are at, with supporting them with compassion and concrete resources to make a difference. This summer alone, we have fed over 80,000 children across the state of Hawaii and have received spent $14 million in food assistance in helping families right now. Most eligible families receive their benefits automatically, but we know that there are thousands of families out there that may qualify and haven't applied yet. If your family receives SNAP or TANF, or your child was approved for free or reduced price school lunches this past school year, you're already approved and you're qualified. If you are not one of those categories, please go to the website or call the number that the governor gave to see if you qualify, and please apply. Time is running out, and like the governor and first lady said, we have these resources that we want to share with all of you to ensure that our keiki are fed. So together, we can make sure no child in Hawaii goes hungry, not just this summer, but all year round. Mahalo. So you're gonna. Okay.
Mahalo, Director. At this time, we will open up the floor to questions from the media.
Mahalo, Erica. I'd like to invite the governor up to the podium. And our first question comes from Andrew Gomes, Honolulu, Star Advertiser.
Great, thanks. Director Yamane mentioned 80,000 keiki fed through the Sunbucks program this summer.
Yes.
Is that correct? And then what was the number last year, and maybe the spending as well?
We'll get you. Yeah. So 79,000 last year, up to 80,000 this year. And just to give everyone kind of some clarity here, we've seen a significant trend in need over the last 5 years. You know, going through the COVID crisis, a lot of additional families ended up working with the Hawaii Food Bank, Food Pantry, and this program. So it's particularly impactful. Again, I'll share in the summertime because we've done our best to make sure that food's available for every kid that's in school during the school year. But there's this 2+ month break, and that's where this program is most impactful.
Mahalo, Governor. We have Hawaii News Now.
Hi, Governor Josh Green. I was wondering, so you talked about how this program will help families and children, but I was wondering, how do you believe this is going to help the state as a whole?
Sure. Well, one thing is it really circulates these dollars. We have been focused on trying to improve our agricultural system for one thing. That's very important. And to be able to source local foods is a good thing. This is a lot of money to support local growing and local ag. In addition to that, though, all of these dollars are circulating through local grocery stores. We have been always challenged to have enough resources at different institutions, pantries, and so on. So all these dollars circulate here in our state. The same can be said really for SNAP in general also, but this is a very local program the way our team has it built. And if I may put in a plug, they've been really focused on SNAP and Sunbucks in this last period of time and done an extraordinary job tightening the program, meeting whatever requirements we may have to make sure we maximize the benefits. Families that are otherwise living near the edge, those are many of the cases where people leave for the mainland, where in some parts of the country rent is cheaper, food can be cheaper, and so it's just natural that we have more families in need here. So it helps us. It helps keep our families here. It keeps the workforce here. It keeps everyone healthy and not going to see the doctor. So there's a lot of benefits from this program.
Mahalo. She was too gracious to correct me. That was actually KHON2. This is Hawaii News Now. Kate.
Hi, you mentioned it would be about $177 per child as families who are part of this program would receive. Is that a one-time payment, or would that happen regularly? And if so, how often?
That's for the summer. I was getting that clarification as we were speaking. Yes, so that's for the summer, but for per keiki. So you can obviously do the math if people have 2, 3, 4 children. And to clarify, we use some acronyms. TANF, That's temporary assistance for needy families. That's a program when people are in a short period of crisis and they may need food support or housing support or transportation support. A lot of times those are individuals that are also getting Medicaid services. These are each programs that people can benefit from, but the programs themselves kind of demonstrate your approval status. I mean, you quickly can be approved. And another thing that the department's done is they've been really amping their services so that we know that with a lot of people in need, there have been historically some longer wait times. They've done a great job shrinking the wait times. Be a little patient if you call in. Use the website if you can, for sure. But stick with it, and you'll get those dollars for your kids. Grandparents can call in, parents can call in, so on.
Up next, Taylor, KITV4.
Hi, Governor Green. So you guys earlier talked about how some families do receive their benefits automatically, but some may qualify and they just haven't applied yet because they don't know that they can receive different resources like this. I wanted to ask what sort of the community outreach or advertisement process is going to be like for this program, especially for lower income communities who may not have access to technology or the platforms that we have here on our side.
Sure. I love calling up Scott Morishige to the podium, so why don't we have him come on up and come with Ryan. It's very important.
So this program is on its second year. We partnered with the Department of Education. So the Department of Education also assisted us with sharing information to the communities to make sure families were aware of this opportunity last summer, this summer, and going forward.
So we also work with different nonprofit partners throughout the state. So we have a number of SNAP outreach providers that help us get the word out about this program as well as our regular SNAP benefit. That includes trusted community partners like Aloha United Way, the 211.
This might be a good time to put in another plug. Because it was apropos of what we talked about 2 weeks ago, the legislature decided to appropriate $50 million additional. It's over and above the Sunbucks program and other programs to go to nonprofits that are helping individuals that have really been struggling, particularly those who have lost federal funding, lost state funding. And that $50 million is going to, in some cases, go towards food programs like Food Bank and so on. So there's a lot of resources out there. They'll be coordinating with the Departments of Human Service and Health and others. So one of the linchpins is Aloha United Way because they see a lot of the asks come from all directions, and they're going to be running some of those programs.
Mahalo, Governor. Lots of questions. Alani, KHON2.
Thank you. I was wondering, so there's a stigma around accepting help from the government. What do you say to families who feel ashamed to apply, even if they need it?
Sure. I would just say we totally understand where people are coming from. Look, it's really hard on almost everybody right now. Just for perspective, about 30% of our population, 30% of us, so 3 out of 10 of us in a given room right now need support for their health insurance, Medicaid. It's totally common. We have large numbers of people that are living paycheck to paycheck. That's called the Alice family category, which just means you're working and you might just be 1 or 2 paychecks away from needing some help with rent or a car payment. That's over 40%. So it's very common right now, given the high cost of living, the high inflation rates, frankly, just how much it costs to be in a home and rent. So no one should feel self-conscious about that. And the best part is, a lot of people just have a rough patch, and that may very well be summer when you need extra food support. Or if there are longer, broader problems, that's why we have our major housing programs and so on. But there are even thousands and thousands of people that are on wait lists for supportive housing. So we're aware, and no one should feel self-conscious at all. In fact, take advantage of these resources because the more people that we get on to the program that we successfully help, it often helps for future years when we ask for resources because the federal government and others, if we don't spend the monies that we have said that we expect to have need for, sometimes it's harder for us to get grants. So people should just speak up, especially if they know someone in their family or in their community that needs a little bit of help.
Mahalo, Andrew.
Thanks, Governor. Is this USDA Sunbucks funding something that leaders in the federal government have proposed to reduce or eliminate next summer? And is Hawaii's allocation $18 million this summer, last summer, next summer?
Yeah, we were just talking about that, but Ryan can, or Scott
Yeah.
can speak eloquently.
So this program is going to be continuing. We are still working with the federal government and getting more guidance from rules and policies that may implicate us on what our requirements are and how that will impact the budget. But from all intensive purposes, the program will continue next year.
Yeah, I should tell you, the way they structured a lot of the changes in the social safety net, in the new legislation, which I admittedly have deep concerns about, because I'll reiterate, I have problems with giving tax breaks to people who are doing really well while making it tougher on our teams here to be supportive of those who have need. But most of them are about process. So there will be some extra admin costs that the state has to meet, which I will approve immediately. That's about $14 million of administrative support for the SNAP program. We will be appropriating that money in partnership with our legislative leaders, no doubt there. Sometimes people are going to have to go through verifications, certifications more often for Medicaid or programs like this, like perhaps every 6 months instead of every year. And we are already having meetings. For example, the team met with Microsoft this morning, and we're working on some support with technology to make sure people can get more seamlessly just re-upped on the programs. I think a lot of states, in fact, I know a lot of states because I've talked to other governors, are interested in doing that. The idea, I think, from the federal side is that if it's difficult for people to sign up for programs, there might be attrition and therefore savings. And unfortunately, I think that that's a bit of a cynical approach. I think it's much better to meet people where their needs are. We already demonstrated, and the gentlemen behind me and their teams are much too humble to say this, but I will. They looked at all the states where there were some error rates, which is very natural because these are programs that are hard to follow up. We, like many states, had error rates over 15%, over 20%. At one point, we had a 22%, they say, error rate. That's because people were in need and they were making applications and we were doing our best to follow it up. Within a year, Scott, Ryan's team, they got that error rate all the way under 7%. And the federal government put penalties in place for any state that was like, for example, if you were over a certain percentage, you would pay as much as a 20% penalty, and so on and so on. They got it all the way down to the lowest. And I expect that we will very likely, we're hopeful, have no penalty whatsoever, which saves millions of dollars that we can then, fund these programs. It was a phenomenal effort to go, I believe, from 22% to 6.6%. Yeah, and that was very quick. The more need there is, the more workers we have to have. And that's always one of our challenges, too. So if you're out there and you want to be helpful, we would love for people to come and join the Department of Human Services, be a part of these programs, because we can offer jobs where you can be of support to your ohana.
Mahalo, Governor. Coming back to Hawaii News Now with Kate.
Can you talk through the timeline for families after they submit their applications and what that approval process looks like?
As the governor mentioned, families can apply as early as today. Just go on to the website. It's a quick and streamlined process. They may have to submit some additional documentation. It's going to vary a little bit from family to family, but we're working through trying to get through the applications as quickly as possible. I think the main message is for people to contact us. For some people, there may be some reason why they may be eligible, but we didn't have all the necessary information right away. So again, the main message we're trying to get out there is just for families to contact us. That process for them is quick and easy, and that's the main message we're trying to get across here today.
There's another thing that's important to mention, and that's that also we want people to know that we as a state are going to fight always to protect people's privacy and their information. I know that that's been in the press a little bit, where there's been some pressure to release people's personal information. I feel that this is a HIPAA right, a health professional privacy matter. And so we're going to be very private for people in need, because there are lots of cases where people feel that if they put their name out there, their address or their information about their status is going to be discussed. This is about feeding kids. In fact, this is really about the First Lady's desire and mine to, over a 5-year period, get to a place where we don't have any children in the state that are food insecure. And you've seen different parts of it. This is another step. The first parts were to make sure that people didn't have kind of that copay at school. So if you were qualified, that you didn't have to worry about a small payment, which sometimes gave children or families pause based on a sense of dignity. We want to show everyone dignity, but we also want to feed everyone. And so we're moving that direction. It's not any easier that we're facing some cuts nationally, but I think we're going to be able to weather that storm. Okay. Joan, anything else you want to add? Okay. Well, again, thank you very much. And in closing, know that this is a part of the broader strategy to make sure every child has food security and their parents. Everyone has to work. Everyone has to take care of their kids. And so Jamie and I will continue to roll out this 5-year process. Expect legislation each year with increased state reimbursements and state appropriations to help those who are hungry. We also have significant plans which we'll be rolling out to support the Hawaii Food Bank through some of the emergency dollars that we've received, because we feel that that is, part and parcel of the crisis that we have suffered over these many months. So this is our bigger plan. We'll continue to keep taxes as low as we can for working families so that people can afford food and medicine, and programs like Sunbucks are going to be central to who we are. So please, everyone, take advantage of this opportunity. Make that call or go on the website, and our team will make sure that you get the resources. Aloha. Okay.
Mahalo, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes our presentation today.